welcome to Marissa's Kitchen. It is almost Thanksgiving in my house, so I have a whole kitchen of stuff here going on that I am excited about for celebrating tomorrow. And I am making the pumpkin crumb cake from Gracefield Homemaking's website, and I'll put the website at the end, but I mixed up the pumpkin layer and have that all ready to go. It did not take very long to mix up at all. And I just got my crumb topping mixed up that I'm going to sprinkle on, and then I'm supposed to melt butter and put that over it. So this reminds me of a recipe from past Thanksgivings. I would make this pumpkin pie cake that had this like cake layer on top. Oh, and I'm getting distracted by my missing microwave, so we're still borrowing someone else's, but sorry, it looks so ugly behind me, but maybe I can turn and have a better view. But anyway, it reminds me of a cake that I used to make when we lived out in the bush. I was introduced to the recipe, and I love pumpkin pie, but this like took pumpkin pie to a whole new level because it had this, you used a white cake mix and it made this topping that was like kind of crispy on the very top, but it was just to die for. I have missed that, not being able to have that since I've been sugar-free doing THM these last 4.5, almost 5 years. I still would occasionally make that cake in those 5 years, but as I've grown more and more in my THM journey, I really do stay away from sugar on Thanksgiving, just for mood-related stuff, so that I can have a really great Thanksgiving and not be really grumpy at my family. So anyway, this pumpkin crumb cake, I have missed it, so I'm really excited to try this recipe to see if it will replace that pumpkin pie cake that I used to make. So I'm gonna get that in the oven, and once it cools and I try it, I will give a review. Hi, I also am making a pecan pie. It's from, I think it's called Pickled Okra by Charlie or something. I have to double check that website, but I have the filling mixed up here. I just need to throw some eggs in, and I already made and pre-baked my little, it was like a press-in crust using baking blend, but I have never made pecan pie, so this is a first for me, even with, you know, even a sugary version I've never made. So I'm really excited to try this. I love pecan pie, and I will give a review when I try it. Okay, so I just poured the filling in, and I have my little pie plate here in the oven, and I am so excited. I tasted I like the spoon that I mixed up the syrupy stuff, the mixture, the pie mixture, and it was incredible. I just can't believe this is on plan. Hi guys, I wanted to give you just a review of both of the recipes that I made for Thanksgiving. The pumpkin crumb cake I really liked. I made it the night before Thanksgiving, and I really wish that I could have tasted it that night, because I think the crumb layer might have just been just a tiny bit more crispy the day I made it and the day after. So it was mid-morning, and we were sitting down. It's a tradition for us to watch the movie Frozen on Thanksgiving morning, and so it was mid-morning. I'd gotten the turkey in the oven, and we sat down to watch our movie, and I decided, you know what, I would really like a cup of coffee with something sweet. And so I went ahead and cut myself a square of this. My first bite, I wasn't sure what I thought about it, but the second and third bite, and then the whole rest of it, I really, really liked it. My husband Jim had some, and he thought it was really good as well. So it's been a couple days, and I've had a piece almost every day, and I really like how it's still crunchy on top because of the nuts. The original pumpkin pie cake that I had made didn't have nuts in it, so I like that it kind of holds its crunch because you have the nuts in it. So the flavor's delicious. I made only half a pan of this because I'm only one in the house that really eats a lot of the THM desserts, so because I was making other things, I didn't want to have a ton of it left over. But I will definitely make a 9x13 of this next year, because I was kind of trying it out to make sure I liked it before making the full pan. But I definitely recommend this pumpkin crumb cake. And so The second one I made was the pecan pie, and so because I had this in the morning, by evening time, I think all the rich food from the day, I could only handle just a little sliver of this, and it was really, really rich. And I wasn't sure what I thought about it. But the next day, because I didn't overload on carbs, I had this in the evening, and all day long I had been thinking about what it would be like to add chocolate to this. It's kind of because of a conversation I had with Julie and Allison the day before Thanksgiving, the same day I first filmed. I was telling about what I was making, and no, it was Thanksgiving morning. We were all up early Thanksgiving morning, and we were boxering. And I was telling them about what all I made, and I think it was Allison that said, "What, no chocolate?" And Julie and I were talking about how we don't associate chocolate with Thanksgiving. And so, which is weird. It's like the only time in the whole year that I don't think of chocolate. So, but it kind of got me thinking about chocolate. So thanks, Allison. And by the time I had this the day after Thanksgiving, I thought, I really want to try this with some melted chocolate chips. And so when I went to have it, I warmed it up, and I also melted, in another dish, I melted just like a tiny little handful of Lily's chocolate chips. And then I spread that over the warm pecan pie, and oh my word, it was delicious. It kind of reminded me of eating like a warm chocolate chip cookie with, okay, so then I took it up a notch and added a scoop of Carb Smart ice cream. So that tasted like chocolate chip cookie, a warm chocolate chip cookie with ice cream on top. So I think that just made it like a 5-star dessert. So that will definitely be, both of these I will definitely be making next year for Thanksgiving. They will now be on my Thanksgiving menu probably every year. And this being my first time making a pecan pie, I was really pleased with how it turned out. The crust on this is actually so delicious, especially with that chocolate and ice cream mixture. I thought it almost reminded me of a graham cracker crust, and I wondered what other pies it could possibly be used in. So anyway, both of these desserts I highly recommend for your next year Thanksgiving, and they're awesome with a cup of hot coffee and cream, and hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Hi guys, I wanted to add, in case you were wondering, so for Thanksgiving I did not eat totally on plan. I ate a lot of stuff on plan, and I did do sugar-free. So there's a few things that, like my mom's mashed potatoes and a couple other recipes that, you know, I only eat once or twice a year, and so to me they're worth it to go off plan. But I do keep to eating sugar-free, just because that way then I don't have a blood sugar drop and be grumpy with my family. So and I hope in the last video, my hair here, it's like, it is really dry here in Alaska, so I have tried to get these little hairs to stay down, but the static is just amazing, and my hair won't cooperate. So hopefully it's not too distracting in my videos, but hopefully it just gives you a little laugh more than anything. So there was something else I was going to add. Oh, and the pie, I had been thinking that there was a pecan pie that had chocolate in it. So when I mentioned that I added chocolate chips to it, I know that wasn't an original idea, because I found out after the fact. I was talking to Kelly on the phone, and she said something about a derby pie. So I looked into that and realized it's basically a pecan pie with chocolate chips. Although I dug a little deeper on the internet and found out it actually has walnuts and rum or something in it. But anyway, so I know that I'm not the first one to think about putting chocolate in a pecan pie, but it was so delicious. You definitely need to try it. And maybe next year I will just put chocolate chips in mine, and that's the way that I will bake it. So I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend, and have a great day.